This video is going to walk you through dividing integers. So steps are very similar to our multiplying integers, except again, we are looking at the idea of dividing. So if we take a look at our steps, you will see similar to step 1 for multiplying. The first thing we're going to do is find the absolute value for each integer. And then from there, we are going to divide the absolute values of each integer. So that together shouldn't be there. So we're going to divide the absolute values of each integer. And then again, to determine the sign of the final answer, or the quotient, we are going to use the following rules. If the signs of the two numbers are the same, then the quotient is always positive. And if the signs of the two numbers are different, then the quotient is always negative. So if we look at the first example, we have positive 14 divided by negative 7. So I'm going to find the absolute value of both. Divided by negative 7. So absolute value of positive 14 is 14. Then I'm going to divide. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. But if I look back at my signs, they are different. So because they are different, my answer would be negative. Take a look at example 2. Now I have signs that are the same. So my end result is going to be a positive answer. So if that helps you, you can always do that to kind of make sure that you're getting the right sign at the end with your answer choice. So if I look, I'm going to find the absolute value of negative 36, and I'm going to divide that by the absolute value of negative 6. So the absolute value of negative 36 is 36. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6, and it would be positive. Looking at example 3, we have a positive and a positive, so same signs mean that my final answer would be positive. Once I find the absolute value of 55, I'm going to divide that by the absolute value of 5. So I'm going to get 55 divided by 5, and I'm going to get positive 11. Example 4, I have negative 42 divided by positive 6, so we have different signs. So that tells me that my final answer is going to be negative. So I'm going to go through the steps, find the absolute value of negative 42, find the absolute value of positive 6, and then divide them. Well, the absolute value of negative 42 is 42. The absolute value of 6 is 6. I'm going to divide those two numbers. 42 divided by 6 is 7. But again, because I have two different signs, I'm going to have negative 7 as my final answer. Looking at the final example, example 5, I'm going to go ahead and look at the first part, and then I'll divide that by the second part. So I'm going to go ahead and do my steps. So I have negative 32 divided by negative 8. So I'm going to find the absolute value of negative 32 and divide that by the absolute value of negative 8. The absolute value of negative 32 is 32, divided by the absolute value of negative 8, which is 8. 32 divided by 8 is 4. Since my signs are the same, it's positive 4. Now I'm going to take my second part. So we're going to have positive 4 divided by positive 2. Again, I'm going to find the absolute values of each. So the absolute value of positive 4 is 4. The absolute value of positive 2 is 2. I'm going to divide, and I'm going to get positive 2 as my final answer because both of my numbers are positive. Therefore, my final answer should also be positive. So again, that's how you divide integers. Find the absolute value of each integer, divide the absolute values of each integer, and then look for the signs. If the signs are the same, then the quotient is positive. If the signs are different, then the quotient is negative.